Greetings of peace, love, and light. This is Godis Nanu, and I am here in the Light Body Sanctuary. We are going to be continuing our message on the Spirit of Religiosity. So, this is part 2, and I want to expound on some of the concepts just to make sure that everyone is on the same page, being that everyone listening comes from various places on their path, okay? On their spiritual path. And so we don't want anyone to be lost making any assumptions. So let's start with, because I've been talking about different spirits or entities. And so let's talk about what is a spirit, right? Because people say that my spirit, your spirit, God's spirit, demonic spirits, everybody talks about spirits, but what is a spirit? So truly, when someone says spirit, they're talking about a living entity that you cannot see with your natural eyes. Okay? That is a spirit. When you cannot see it with your natural eyes, it's just a basic term so that everybody understands that we're talking about something that is living, okay, and active, that does not compute with your natural senses. I know some of you have stronger senses than others, and you may be able to see, hear, smell, these entities that are not operating in the physical without attaching to a person, a human being. Okay? So we're clear on that now, right? So let's talk about the definition of religion. Okay? What is religion? Because you can't talk about the spirit of religiosity without understanding what religion is. So I'm going to just look it up real quick. You can do the same thing. I'm going to type in here, what is religion? Definition. Simple definition is a structured system of beliefs, practices, symbols, and values, usually center on a supernatural power, divine being, or sacred truths that address ultimate concerns about human life and existence. Okay. So you understand that there are various religions. There is no one set thing, one set way. There's so many different religions. You can make up your own religion. You could be practicing your own religion. Whatever your spiritual practices are, that is your religion. Okay. The minute that you have a set structure for your beliefs, for what you practice, what you do, the symbols you like to use, the values that you have, that's religion. Okay. And religion itself is not bad. So when I'm speaking out against the spirit of religiosity, you need to understand the difference. I am not saying religion is bad. I'm speaking about a particular spirit or entity that keeps people oppressed and stuck to where they cannot find their way out of the particular mental state that they are in, spiritual state that they are in, so that they can continue to grow, because they are stuck and confined by their particular religion. That is the spirit of religiosity. Okay? The system you choose doesn't matter. Okay? It doesn't matter what system you choose. So for all of you to say, oh, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. So that can mean one or two things. That can mean that you operate in lawlessness, which means you really don't have no values. You really don't have no structured beliefs. It's just anything goes. Okay. And that's not spiritual. I'm sorry. No offense. You might feel like you're being spiritual, but even in the spirit realm, there is structure. Okay. There is structure. We call that lawlessness. Okay, that's lawlessness. If you operate in lawlessness, okay, that's something completely different. Now, a real spiritual person, they have set beliefs. Okay, they have set values. Okay, so that is your religion, even if it's not a mainstream religion. Okay, so let's clear that up so that we can all be on the same page. Okay, and how do people get stuck? How do people get stuck and influenced by the spirit of religiosity? That's when those set values, beliefs, and those structures become not based in truth. Okay, when they're not based in truth, or maybe they are based in truth, some truth, right? But when presented with new truth, okay, you become inflexible, all right? You become unable to grow spiritually. You become unable to obey God's spirit. You become contradictory to the root of what the message was that got you or that freed you spiritually in the first place. Okay? And if you've never felt spiritually free, then you are probably operating in the spirit of religiosity and need to build a relationship with your creator so that you can be delivered and understand what spiritual freedom is. Now, people can operate in spiritual freedom and then become susceptible to spirit of religiosity, okay? So, there's no set way that this occurs. There's no set religion that this occurs in. This is something we all must be careful of. We all must be aware of. We all must be cautious that we don't allow it to creep in. Okay, it's like it brings toxicity to organizations, to groups, to communities. Okay, when people cannot be spirit led, when they cannot embrace truth because it contradicts their current belief system, or not even it would be a belief system most time, just the way that they like to do things. Okay, and it don't have nothing to do with nothing. People just get set in their ways. That's the spirit of religiosity, the spirit of control, all these different spirits that work together to keep you spiritually, mentally bound. All right. It affects your view of God. Okay, so let's talk about the way that you view God. It affects the way that you view God, constricts the way that you view God because God is limitless. Okay, God is limitless. So God's not going to fit in your box. Okay, so you understand in part. So humility is very important. The spirit of pride comes in and works together with the spirit of religiosity, along with the spirit of self-righteousness. So all these things have to be torn down and broken down so that you can be free. Okay, and it also brings in the spirit of division, the spirit of religiosity, because spirit of religiosity will keep you from connecting with others, hearing others, treating others with respect and dignity because they don't fit in said box that you have created, that you've tried to put the creator in, that's stifling your growth. And so it also causes you to try to stifle the growth of others. Okay. It keeps you from being able to see human beings as human beings. Okay. And it keeps you from connecting with different aspects of the creator, God. And so, of course, if you can't connect with different aspects of God, how are you going to connect with different people that might be a little different from you? They might come from a different culture than you. That don't mean something's wrong with them because they're different. So you need to understand the difference between malevolent spirits, malevolent energies, demons, demonic spirits, and people that are just different. And the spirit of religiosity will keep you from doing that, and will keep you closed-minded, and will keep you stuck spiritually, mentally, socially, and will handicap you, handicap your ministry, handicap your calling, handicap your growth. And we don't want that, okay? We're all about self-growth here in the Light Body Sanctuary. We're all about growing together and community and connecting and building here in the Light Body Sanctuary. Peace, love, and light.